Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you today. Wanted to share another coaching girlfriend with you, Stacy Brookman. She's going to talk about how to network as an introvert. Now, I'm sure this is something that some of you introverts have been wanting to talk about. You may not want to admit that you're an introvert. I know I am. I'm kind of a social introvert now, but if you're having introvert type tendencies, this definitely is a video for you. We'll see you inside. Hey there, Stacy. How you doing, girlfriend?
Hey, Ingafay. So happy to be here. This is fun.
Yes. So, girl, before we get into how to network as an introvert, tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Oh, yes. So I am a leadership coach for women, which is really all about performance and resilience. And I'm the founder of Real Life Resilience. I really believe that we need more women in leadership positions if we're ever going to change the culture, right?
Yes.
So I want more women to feel like confident in their skills, feel confident that they're worthy, feel confident that they don't have to play somebody else's game to be successful. And that often means getting over imposter syndrome. So that's my passion.
Awesome. So I'm just curious, how long have you been in this field, in this space, helping women in leadership?
Oh, well, so I've done quite a bit in my corporate job. I had a 30-year career in corporate environment, right? And, climbing that ladder. And I never, ever felt like I was good enough. So I had a lot of experience with not feeling good enough and in leadership. And so I felt imposter syndrome. And I really thought that those higher level roles were unreachable for me. And even as I was attaining those particular roles. So I lacked confidence and also felt like if I could just do more, work more, take more stretch projects, I would be enough, and didn't feel that. So that's what I want to do and what I help women do is, after I got certified, I left corporate, got certified as a life coach, advanced leadership coach. That's what I am focusing on right now, is helping those women to get higher level leadership roles and feel like they deserve to be there, which they do.
So I know today we're going to talk about how to network as an introvert. So are you an introvert? Is that basically how you kind of figured this thing out and you learned through your journey? Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I figured it out when I was in the corporate offices, and I had read a book called Connectional Intelligence with Erica Darwin. And so that was really cool. But I had also picked up a book that was a little bit older book called The Medici Effect with Franz Johansson, was his name. And so I was always, again, not feeling enough. And I had a mentor, and, you had to check the box that you are a mentor, or you wanted to be a mentor, or you were a mentee in corporate, right? And it felt like it was just like awkward, right? Yes, I am an introvert, and it was just feeling awkward. So when I read these two books close to the same time, I thought, wow, what can I do to make this a lot easier? And so and then I also was reading about this woman who went around the world and had coffee with a new person in every city that she was in. Wow. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is an idea. So I just kind of created this for myself and started doing it. And it was so fun. And it's all about using that Medici effect and then the connectional intelligence and bringing those together to make it like we're made for connection with each other.
Right.
I always felt awkward. How could I do it in a way that felt good for me, but also achieve the goal of like connecting with other people? And so I developed this whole plan for it.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know as an introvert, that was one of the things that I kind of struggled with, especially when I started my direct sales business, was just talking to people I didn't know.
Oh, yes. Right.
And then, as time went on, I eventually kind of taught or really made myself get out of my shell.
Mhm.
But I know it can really be a struggle for people that are not necessarily feeling like they have to put themselves out there like that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do is like sometimes, and I don't know, you're on LinkedIn too, I am too, but sometimes we get people asking us for coffee and they only want to sell something to us,
Right.
or they want it, right? It's just like, ugh. But like you and I connected, it was so fun. We had something in common. It was just human to
Exactly.
human. And so
Right.
that's what this is all about. It's designed to recreate. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the Medici effect, which I don't know if you've read that book. It is really cool. I was just fell in love with it. But the Medici family sponsored, like this was back in the 15th century, sponsored artists and mathematicians and scientists and brought them into their compound, like Galileo, Sandro Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. They were all sponsored by the Medici family, and so many more. Because they were in like that close proximity, they interacted with each other. And that interaction and the things that they developed and they built and the creativity that they had and the innovation at the time actually kicked off the Renaissance period. So that is what is possible. And so in today's world, that might look like a scientist and a bus driver coming together to work on understanding the paths of ant, or self-cooling buildings. Someone who built, like an architect, can be influenced by termite hills, right? To be able to understand self-cooling, and like solar panels influenced by leaf designs. And so we together with different diverse backgrounds, diverse people, diverse skills, diverse experiences, when we come together, great things can happen. So when you have that belief that great things could happen, it helps you to actually do this first, really cool, and actually move forward into it. And then from all of this, that my 50 cups of coffee, connectional intelligence, and I call it, connectional coffee system was developed. And so I'm a process girl. I developed a system to put this together and make it easy for me. So, and this is much more than checking the box. So what I have, and actually I give the system away. It's at realliferesilience.com/coffee.
Okay.
And anybody can go there, download it. But what it is your first coffee is with friends, right? Or family, or somebody that you know, maybe somebody's on your team, etc. And that's okay. After that, it's with other people. So, I think I had, when I first started, I had coffee with somebody that was on my team. Okay. And what you do is you just ask them these questions to get to know them. That's the whole point, is to get to know them as a human being, as a person, not somebody who can do something for you or be your mentor yet, maybe, or something like that. You don't have an agenda. Right. And that actually takes that tension down as well. Because when you're like waiting there, like I'm going to ask them something, I'm going to ask them to do something for me, or be a mentor, or, be my friend, whatever. It's simple. It just takes that tension down. And you're simply asking them, hey, tell me about your family. What do you do for fun? Right. My favorite question is, what do you feel like your superpower is? And in work or outside of work, right? And so you get to know even people who are close to you so much better. Right. But then at the end of that, you ask that person, hey, who do you know that I don't, or that's outside of our location or outside whatever, who do you know that I should have connectional coffee with? And usually by the time that you've connected with them, and you don't say anything about yourself unless they ask. This is only questions to them. And because people love to talk about themselves, people love to be seen and heard, right? And be visible to other people. And that's what you're doing. You're giving them an opportunity. And so as an introvert, it's like, oh, it's not like I'm presenting something or I'm doing something. It's really inviting them to share about themselves. I have in my program here a script on here's what you can send to do the warm introduction, right? And they introduce you to somebody else. You're like, oh, I'm so glad that Susan just, shared your information with me and connected us. How cool. I'd love to have some coffee, right? Virtual coffee. Well, it's virtual now. So then I have a spreadsheet where you fill in the blanks of what their answers are, and I can take notes, during while they're talking and things like that.
Right.
And then that spreadsheet is there, and then it actually says, okay, in 6 months, it's time to have some more coffee and call them back up. So it's a system to really stay in contact with the people that you have connected with. And
Awesome.
It is incredibly valuable. I can tell you some stories about how it's worked out. It's so cool.
Wonderful. That sounds so awesome. Because I haven't done, you have it methodically thought out. So I'm going to have to, I don't know about you guys, but I'll be downloading it.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important to build those relationships when you're an entrepreneur, because the relationships that you build are going to really reward you in the end. Not that you're doing it to be rewarded. It's giving you value from building another relationship with another human, like you said, because we were made to network and interact and connect with people. So it gives you that opportunity to get to know someone that much better. And then also you to be top of mind for them and them to be top of mind for you. Like you were telling me about one of the things, someone was looking for somebody and you just went through your spreadsheet and was able to refer them to somebody on the spot. I think that's very, very important. Oftentimes, most of the time when you, especially in direct sales, and I know, especially if you're doing the old way of direct sales, if they're not interested in what you have to offer them, it's like you don't talk to them anymore.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
And it is because you guys may have something in common outside of the product or the service that you participate in. Exactly. And as a result of connecting, you now have a buddy, a partner in crime, I'll say, that you can actually connect with and say, girl, I'm going. They may love opera or something, and there's an opera coming into your city, and this person loves the opera. Maybe your husband doesn't, or maybe your wife doesn't. Yes. And then you'll have, I got an opera buddy now. I can just call Susie Q, and now she's going to come. Yeah. Exactly. She can now connect with me. I just think it's so cool for you to do that. Now, one question I do have though is why is it 6 months? Because I know personally I have been doing it on a quarterly basis. I was just curious why you chose
absolutely do it quarterly. My list is so long, and I can't crowd my weeks with like 5 different coffees. 3, I think, is like probably the max I can handle right now with all the other things and building my business and things like that. Right. And you can even go as slow, like one a week, and just connect. Right. And this works in your business and outside of your business. For instance, in your business, I had somebody that I was working on a project, and I had an Excel spreadsheet. Like I'm not an Excel girl. And so I'm like, oh, this is not working out. Well, I did a search, like you can search inside the document for Excel, and a guy that I had connected with 3 or 4 months earlier, that was his superpower. Like he did it for fun, which I can't imagine that, but anyway, he did. And so I shot it to him. I said, hey, would you mind just looking at this? 5 minutes later, he responded back, I fixed it for you. It was just this, and this, and he shot it back. And then my husband and I were going to go hiking. Remember what state it was? It might have been Utah. Anyway, we were going to go hiking. And so I did a search for that state and that location, and another person came up, and I'm like, what are the best places to go hiking here? Or, that sort of thing. And so it's so cool. And because they have connected with you, they're like, oh yeah, you should go here, here, and here. Right. And so many ways that this can be incredibly valuable, including like being a mentor or connecting with somebody, and they can give you some advice for, hey, I'm getting ready to interview, or I'm getting ready to do this. What would you recommend? Right. Or what are some of the biggest pitfalls? I will tell you, this is like, I read this, a couple of weeks ago, but the people who get you other jobs, the most often the way that they do it is by not your really close connections, not your sister or your family or best friends. It's your loose connections. So if you Google that, you'll see loose connections. So it's those people that are kind of outside, not like your besties,
Right.
but those people that you have connected with.
Right.
Those are the people that are more likely to get you a job and recommend you and so I'm like, that was really surprising to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, that makes this even more important. Same way with
awesome
clients or customers, right? Like somebody who can refer you might not be your customer right now, might be somebody that you just have that loose connection with.
Right. That's awesome. That is really awesome. And that's definitely how we can definitely use it in our business, is to build those relationships and have those loose relationships that are really going to allow us to get those referrals and even collaboration partners, because it's not just referrals for our business, it collaboration partners. So they could lead us to somebody else that could be a great referral source for us.
Absolutely.
So before we end, girl, I just wanted to ask you, what is your process? I guess you've kind of told us that loosely about what the process is. Is the guide going to be more of a checklist on exactly what to do?
Yeah, so I built this on Google Sheets, and so when you download it, you'll get the link to make a copy for yourself.
Okay.
And the first tab is the Connectional Coffee Tracker, right? So whenever you put something in, it'll say, okay, you've done 1 coffee or 2 coffees, and so it's kind of like gamifying it. It's like, okay, I want to get to 50 coffees in a quarter, right? Or 6 months, or whatever it is that you want. And then, so as you put somebody in, and then it does also tell you when to follow up. And there are columns where you can input the just kind of notes. It's got some examples in there. But the second tab on the bottom also tells you about the process, like where I got this from, the Erica Dewan's Connectional Intelligence, Fran Johansson's Medici Effect, etc. And then it says, hey, here's what you do. Begin by asking 5 people. Meet with them, fill out the coffee tracker, ask the questions. And during the meeting, here's what you're going to do. And then at the end, be sure to ask. And then it does give scripts, like if this is your friend or somebody who's going to want to introduce you, you can give them that script. Something for somebody you don't know yet, but you're reaching out, and a sample thank you. That's really, really important. So yeah, it's all right there in that document that you have to be able to do it. And just one of the things, I think I might have mentioned this, but I just want to make sure this is not about you. So you're scheduling like 15, maybe 20 minutes. If they ask you about you, that's great. You can actually schedule, like if you have more time, that's fine. Or you can schedule a separate time. But really, there's some people who are going to play and some people who aren't, and that's okay. Yep. But really, your whole goal is to get interested in them. Like people love, like I said, to talk about themselves, or yes, here's what I do. Here's my superpower. Here's my, it just feels so good
it does.
To them. It's like, and you're the one helping them have that experience. How cool is that? And that's why being an introvert, and it's like, it's hard enough to make adults, friends as an adult, right? It's so hard. Yeah. Or like we don't even get out of the house. I don't. Some days I don't even get out of the house. So how in the world am I going to make connections and friends? And so this is such a great way to do it. But when you get on that call, or ahead of time, you can even tell them, this is all about you. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not here to you tell me about you. I'm going to tell you about me. It's not about that. It's really just about them, to get to know them on a human basis. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but frequently, like people who live into old age, the ones who have the best quality of life and live longer are the ones who have connections, who have people outside of their family that they're connected to. There's something about that keeps you more healthy, probably more motivated, and just that smart, that brain interaction, I guess, that helps you live a better life even into old age. So better start now. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, yes, yes. This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
I love
So just one question, because I know as an introvert, it's hard to talk to people that you don't know. So I guess, is that why you're starting with, you said the first person that you're talking to is somebody that you know. So I guess that's where you kind of, your happy place.
Yes.
And then because they're a friend of a friend, you're able to make that next connection. Is that how it's working? Okay.
Yes. So I did. It was like I had a couple of people on my team. I think I had my sister, that sort of thing. And it's just simply like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's called 50 Cups of Coffee or Connectional Coffee. Would you mind having just a little coffee chat with me? So do it with people who won't judge you, or, you know, that are friendly, because that helps you, first of all, because the first couple might be a little awkward. But if it's with your family, it's so much easier, or your friends or coworkers. Like I had a couple of coworkers. And then everybody, 6 degrees of separation, everybody knows somebody that you don't know.
Right.
And so when I was in a corporation, when I was doing this, I would tell them somebody that's not in our department, but somebody outside. Right.
So you're making that clear.
Exactly. Because the whole goal to grow this network, and sometimes I think networking has a bad name, right? But this is really what it is. It's so easy. You're creating your network, you're building your network, and it's fun as well. Like you're getting to really know people. And so taking notes, and then your friend, I say the first 5 would be people that you know and won't judge you and that sort of thing.
Right.
And then ask them, who do you know that I don't know that might be interested in Connectional Coffee? Almost everybody has a friend that you don't know, or another coworker that you don't know that they can introduce you to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so this is a must do, you guys. This is, the time that we're recording this is in kind of the middle of January. So I'm hoping that you guys will take this up as something that you want to do. If you're interested in that, of her website that she was telling you about and how to get access to that, this is the website right here. I will put it in the description, so don't worry about having to write it down. You could just go down into the description and just click the link and go directly to her website. But thank you so much, Stacy, for this valuable information. This was just so good. I know I do have some people that have those introvert tendencies, so this is definitely something that folks can do and possibly grow their business as a result of doing it. So thank you for sharing your information with us.
It's my joy.
Yes. And as always, you guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now.